How's it going, lazy Brucers? I'm Bobby Sixkilla and welcome back to Meteor World Actor, Badge and Dagger. Let's continue where we left off, shall we? It's been a few days since I recorded, and this jazzy tune has really lulled me into a into a very low energy state. Let's carry on, shall we? What do people think of just before they die? When you're badge deep in blood, sometimes you wonder. One moment there's a stone cold killer staring hate at you. Just before they die, their eyes go distant. Wonder how my eyes will look when it's my turn. Man, it's cold. The cold gnaws such morbid thoughts out of my mind. It's an unusually cold one tonight, and I'm about to get an unusual tip. My phone buzzes inside my pocket. A jilted ex-lover? That'd have been better. Maybe a warm body could still heat me up. But reality is cruel. What do you want? Ice cold way to perk up, but the caller isn't phased. So, how have you been, my dear Ruka? It's after midnight already. Not the hour to ring up and ask, how have you been? I'm just getting off work. I'm tired. I know. You had a late shift? If you know how I'm doing, then don't call to ask. What's this game tonight? I called you now because I knew I could reach you. Huh? The car in front of me opens its passenger door, and Strikos steps out. Strikos? I'm gonna go with that. I've been waiting for you to come home. What do you even think phones are for? You could just come out and said hi. I hang up on Strikos and walk over to Strikos. I had something to discuss with you. To discuss? With this guy? That means nothing good. I feel the same about you, you know. Huh? When you come to me, it's never good news either. Quit reading my mind. It comes quite easily, having known you so long. Anyway, I'm full of good news. Every time you drop by our offices, you leave my hardworking employees hating you just a little bit more. Didn't know it was a dissing contest. You're something of a genius at attracting dislike. I think you could make enemies in your sleep. Wow, you're still going. That aside, could we chat for a few minutes? Hell no. If you wanted my time, you buttered me up all wrong. How should I have gone about buttering you up? I'm starving. You could treat me. A big, expensive, buttery steak. Let's see. Up on the top floor of the fancy hotel. I want meat, slabs of it, and a glass of fine wine for my other hand. I'm sorry. I admire your imagination, but what? You gonna steam that all up in smoke? At this the only place that would offer you steak dinners are diners, not quite haute cuisine. It's damn late at night. He has a point, and classy places will all be shut. Would a cheap place like that satisfy you? You got someplace better in mind? I was thinking of a fancy bar that serves light refreshments. They might have meat of some sort at least. So steak's off the table. I can live with roast beef. That'd do it. You won't mind if I choose the place? Suits me fine. Then let's be on our way. I thought we'd hop in the car, but Strikos sends it away. This isn't anything to discuss inside a bar. So we're talking while we walk instead. Long walks with dudes aren't one of my hobbies. Make an exception for me and I'll put your drinks on my tab. Even the expensive ones? Even the bottle they have set aside for me. Good. You can walk closer if you want then. Yeah, want a cuddle? Yeah, want to link ups? Yeah. I wouldn't go that far. I crook a hand through Strikos' elbow. He shakes me off. With a cool, friendly smile, he backs off a few steps. This guy thinks a joke is a kind of fancy silverware. So what's this about? As we walk, I decide to get around to the topic. I'm not gonna feel like it once we hit the booze. In fact, I might have a gig for you, my dear Ruka. A gig? A very short, simple job that pays 500 bucks a day. What's more, it only takes 3 hours between 2 AM and 5. Suspicious doesn't even cover it. I'd make my detective salary in about a week. And what's your angle on this job? It was a request my company undertook. I was asked to investigate the nature of this job. I can see why. It stinks to high heaven. You got people for everything though, ask one of them. I already did. And? It did not go well. He dodges with a vague answer. So I want to ask you to look into it. It's not like you're short on employees, is it? I'm a detective. Why come to me? If you can get me the information safely, I'll treat you to that expensive dinner as a thank you. Now it's stinking up past high heaven. Something's wrong. I'm out. Then I'll sweeten the pot with an extra paycheck. You think this is about money for me? 5 grand. I stopped walking. 6. 7,000. 8,000. Waiting for one more push? Of course not. 8 grand. Plus $5. Don't blue ball me, push harder. Just kidding. This is about the money, he knows that now. I'll splurge. 10 grand. I'm in. Then we have a deal. Strikos pulls out a piece of paper from his pocket. He passes it to me. What's this? It's a contract. You give me the info, I give you 10 grand. It's so important to get these things in writing. Here, take some ink. A thumbprint will do. Give it here. I get my thumb on that paper before it runs away. Now it's official. Yes, that will be perfect. Did you review the section about breach of contract? Huh? Breach of what now? If you quit the job before completion, we'll collect 20,000 as compensation. But you read the contract carefully, I'm sure. Don't screw with me, get that back. I make a grab for the paper, but Strikos whisks it away. I'm thrilled that we have an agreement. I know you'll be a pleasure to work with. You're a piece of work and you know it. Even if you succeed and get your 10,000, are you sure you wouldn't rather hear details than argue? It's 10 grand. I could use that. With cash like that in bulk, I could pay off some debts. Fine, give me the scope. That's my favourite Ruka. And you're my favourite contract scammer. The job consists of transporting something. What it is or where it goes, we have no idea. So you don't even know if it's really a hauling gig? That's correct. How far did your own people get? Who can say? We don't know a thing. Nothing? Did they fail the interview or what? They first down the job. They died. What? So we don't have any information. Hold up, did you say someone died? But there was nothing suspicious about it. It was a suicide. You're not pulling my leg. You wouldn't pay me so much for no risk. You're overthinking the whole thing. I doubt it. What else have you got there? What else have you got? There has to be more. I don't know anything else. I need information, that's why I'm hiring you. You got some serious aces on your books. Harrelson, say, or Chiffon? If they hit any trouble, they'd slice right through it. Of course I'd be using them if I had the option. But the job has certain eccentric requirements. They look for young adults in their 20s or 30s. Heck of a policy. That rules out Grandpa Harrelson. Nursing home rejects aside. Chiffon fits, doesn't she? 2 more requirements. One is that the applicants be human. Chiffon is a Segget. That'll rule both of them out then. The other requirement is that the applicant has no family. All that together and even Strikos' options are limited. The human's only part I'm not surprised by. Racial discrimination is still pretty common. Criminals aren't such an accommodating crowd. The humans only trust humans, the elves only elves. Sometimes those feelings run pretty deep too. However, no family, what's that about? They're looking for humans with no parents, siblings, or romantic connections. Don't you think you're a perfect fit? You think I'm some kind of idiot? What an accusation, I'd never say that. At any rate, those conditions skeeve me out. That part I won't deny. Yeah, well, it's obviously, but just make sure they have no family so that when we kill them, no one's gonna miss them. That's a bit, it's a bit fucking obvious, isn't it? Whatever they might be doing, it's difficult to trace. They could put me up to something really dangerous. Yes, that would be why the pay is good. I thought you might have some time on your hands anyway. Time? I'm a busy guy, you know. Of course, of course. This is the place. Ready to get started? Excuse me? It just so happens to be the perfect time. Wasn't I supposed to be drinking on your tab? I thought it was taking me for a free booze paradise. You wouldn't want to be drinking before your big job. I'm going home. If you try to quit before the job is done, you owe me 20,000 for the breach of contract. That seems like an awful lot for you to pay. Does he think he's threatening me? I spit on your contract. I collect my debts. I can always have payments deducted from your salary. I'm sure you're eager to get started. You must be excited for that juicy 10 grand. From your perspective, it's a wonderful deal. How do you still have friends? Don't worry, Ruka. I'll always have you. I'm officially sick of dealing with this. All I wanted was to get home and crash. Just 3 little hours. Why not start with the interview? At least pretend to listen. Right, let's get going. Might have to rethink my friendship with this guy. But I got rooftops to lurk on starting tomorrow. Getting this out of the way quick would be smart. If we survive, you know. They conduct their interviews in an alley just ahead. Funny place to run an HR department. We might be detected if I get too close. I won't be joining you past this point. Getting killed's more my department. You're the alleyway specialist. I'll leave it in your capable hands. So you don't want to join me? You're qualified too. I'll have to decline. Unlike you, I'm powerless. Are you really? With a light tap on the shoulder, Stricklos leaves me. There goes my evening. It sucks, but he's right. I'm comfortable in alleys. My heart feels right at home in their dark confines. It's because of how I grew up in this country. As a child, I recalled the darkness. I called the darkness my friend. The alley is damp and smells slightly of ammonia. These places still exist, one step off the main streets. Far fewer now than there were in the past. Before long, I find a small open area with a few men gathered. When I come up, they glance at me but show no surprise. Looks like this is the place. These guys are here for the same reason I am. I can tell just by looking, so I don't ask. A short distance away, I stop to see what they'll do. But I'm looking the wrong way. Hearing footsteps behind me, I turn and... It's Fuyumi, looking very out of place. She's surprised to see me, but covers it fast. What's happening? Isn't she a cop? Why is she not in uniform? After one panicked instant, I figure it out. We exchange a quick glance that tells me a bit more. She's pretending not to know me. That's probably because the First Division is running an investigation. To me, that's good evidence something's wrong. Sometimes the MPA's targets do turn out to be clean, but it's an open secret that I'd like to get out of here. Maybe I really will. I don't want to fight over this case with a Curator. I'm out of here. Peace. Leaving so soon? What's wrong? Nothing's wrong. I just don't think we need 2 cops on this. Cops? I'm not a cop. It's the police. Done. Make them take a nap. I cut the fantasy off before being too cliche. My only option is to wait. Me and Fuyumi kill time pretending to be strangers. I wonder what she's doing here all on her own. The first has better undercover operators on its payroll. That's something I can ask about later. I puff my way through 2 cigarettes. It's just after 2:30. Then a man emerges from a squalid little door. He looks human. Probably. He looks us over too, counting as he goes. We need 3 people. We'll begin the interviews. The men, all 6 including me, start to grumble, but we're not able to argue with our prospective employer. We're not about to, sorry. Fuyumi goes along with it as quietly as well. You're first. A nearby man is called up and through the dirty door. 5 minutes later he comes out and another cycles in. Keep it moving, will you? I was tired when I got here and my eyelids are heavy. The second man comes back out looking dejected. Looks like he flunked the interview. But he's holding out some hope because he doesn't leave. Now it's Fuyumi's turn and she goes in. I doubt they'd try to pull anything on her. But if they did, they'd have another thing coming. Word on the street is she can defend herself. She is a cop. She's back out in the alley inside a few minutes. I'm just wrapping up my 3rd cigarette and now it's my turn. I head through the door. I'm Ruka Hiryu. I rule at interviews. There's almost no light on the other side. Until my eyes adjust, even walking is difficult. Luckily, there's no chair. So I just have to stand. Where'd you hear about this job? The question's sudden, but it's a good one. Jobs this suspicious don't just grow on trees. Out drinking. This guy I'd never met was bragging about this high-paying job he bagged one time. Never told me the details, but he said he made $500 in just one night. Figured I'd get my beak wet too. Is that so? Describe this man. Hell if I know what he looked like, I was drunk too. I was into his story, but not his face. You didn't think he was lying? Of course I did. Right up until this interview. Very well. Go outside. Huh? What, is the interview over? It is. I didn't even bother to see if I've got muscles. No workout for my silver tongue either. What the hell are they testing for then? Suspiciouser and suspiciouser. Where's the real test? I can just make out a tiny lens lurking behind the man. Gotta be a camera. Wonder what kind of prick's judging me from behind it. Didn't take as long as I'd expected. Now we can go out drinking? Today, you, also you, the woman, and you three are hired. He points to the guy who went in first, then Fuyumi, then me. The other four don't look happy, but they slip away. Maybe they're regulars here, who knows? If they are, you'd think having some practice would give them a leg up over us newcomers. It's only getting stranger by the minute. Come with me. The man walks off even deeper into the alley. What's the job? Tell you when we get there. Okay, fine. We walked this way and that for maybe 10 minutes. The city has fewer alleys these days than it used to, but there are still countless pockets even I don't know about. We're smack in the middle of one of those now. You wait here. The man vanishes through a door, advising us not to follow. Wonder what the hell we're here to do. I try chatting up the other guys with us. Who knows? Who cares, as long as it pays. Can't argue with that logic. I kinda care if it ends up getting me killed though. 503 hours? Pays too good. I'm shivering inside here, man. What if we get tangled up in some criminal situation? Go ahead and quit then. I'll work double and take home 1,000. I doubt it would work out that way, but for folks living in a grey zone of the law, maybe it checks out. When you're living like that, cash is cash. You get it how you can and you don't ask questions. How about you? Are you speaking to me? She looks annoyed. Maybe I caught her off guard. This other guy got picked up along with the two of us, but still, there's no guarantee he isn't a plant. If I didn't ask Fuyumi, it might get us busted. A girl like you's gonna have reasons to be in a place like this. Indeed, I have my reasons. That's it? I mean, I know she wasn't expecting to see me here tonight, but it wouldn't have killed her to improv a little. We wait outside a little longer and then a different man from before comes out the door. 4 different men to be precise. Then our guide comes out again, 2, making 5. This is your second interview. Another one? Nobody told me about this. I just did. That's not what I meant. What do you plan to ask us this time? Our buddy, the $1,000 man, not so cool now. This job requires some physical ability. You need to be able to take these men out. Hey, I didn't hear anything about this. You just did. That's probably not what he meant. Hard to argue with though. That's a good trick. No time to steal it now. The men are surrounding us. Oh no, I guess we gotta fight. Relax, it's a test. They'll break a bone or two at most. That's a bone or two more than I'm willing to lose. Hey guy, you can handle 2 of them, right? Give me a break here, man. Could have sworn you said you were gonna work my share. You know I didn't mean this, man. The punks coming at us aren't carrying weapons. This is probably just an honest baseline test. If so, I'll try to lean into looking like an amateur. And not freeze him, you know, where he stands and shatter him into pieces. One of them rushes me. He's faster than I thought, and he isn't pulling any punches. Hey, is this really just a test? That's what I said. You pass. Whew. The 4th man falls down in front of me. We made it. It would have been faster if you'd helped. Our $1,000 scaredy cat here barely moved a muscle while I covered him and took out 3 of the punks. Fuyumi took out the last guy without any trouble. She might look delicate, but she's still a cop. She knows enough to hold her own in a fight. So, you happy now? Yes, no complaints. I'd like to reject the other men, but we do need the people. Good to know. I think it's about time you told us the job. You'll be transporting packages. Huh? You'll be helping us move packages to a specified location. I can't believe this can still get more suspicious. And all the packages are shaped like bodies in coffins. If it's muscles you want, hire Segets. They lack discernment. We wouldn't want them to go out of control. I can't argue with that. piss off a Segget and you're down one higher and up one crisis. When the Segget decides to go off the reservation, there's no telling where the damage will end. In a way, what they're doing could even make sense. Hey, bring out the packages. The 4 men pick themselves up off the ground and head inside. One of them returns a moment later, but I wouldn't call what he's holding a package. For some reason, the man has 3 tiny data chips in his hand. They're minuscule, maybe an inch long. Each of you takes one of these. Your job is to bring these where we tell you. What the hell? These things are tiny, just have one person drop them all off. We don't owe you an explanation. I guess they're all the same chip, and you just send 3 to make sure at least one arrives. If you absolutely have to make sure that one arrives and there's a chance that someone's going to stop you, that'd be a good way of doing it. Get your drive where it's going in one piece, and you can turn it in for your payment. What do you mean, in one piece? Sounds like he's telling us that might be an issue. You have until 6 o'clock. You may go. The man seems to be finished talking, except that we've still got no clue what's happening. Scraping together a crew of shifty strangers to move sensitive data is risky as hell. They'd be way better off moving it themselves. Best of luck. And then the man leaves us unsupervised. They run a pretty casual operation here, don't they? They also didn't tell us where we're taking them. Alright. The other guy leaves at a run, probably eager to put this job behind him. Guess I better mosey too. Sadly, I'm still totally in the dark. I'd love to pick Fuyumi's brain right now, seeing as we've got her here anyway. But for now, we should assume we're still being watched. Mosey first, questions later. Luckily, there's only one way to get out of here. I head off after the other guy and Fuyumi follows along after me. We're probably safe to talk at this point. It'd still be smart to be cautious though. We can chat, but avoid the word police. Why'd you take this job? That's my question. What are you playing at? I heard it was a good way to make a quick buck. 500 in one night, how could I say no? Does your job allow you to take on part-time work? Gee, I don't know, does yours? Mine, What do you think's going on anyway? Why trust a delivery like this to people you can't trust? The data's gotta be important. Personally, I'd move it myself. Seems kinda stupid to scrounge up strangers to carry it. I wonder if there's data on these chips at all. What do you mean? You seem to believe we've been hired to transport these. Rumor has it that this is only for appearances. Then what do they really want us to do? That's a wonderful question I'm trying to answer. Real useful. What I do know is that no one who's taken this job has emerged from the experience unscathed. Insofar as I've been able to investigate, everyone who has done this job is dead. Well done. I'm here to investigate further. Wait a second, why you? What do you mean, why? You're not so much the front lines type. It's been bugging me, so I ask straight out. I have no reason to answer that question. The First Division sure does love its secrets. At what point do the people end up dead? Within 6 days of receiving these data drives. Maybe it's a cursed video. I intend to bring the drive home and inspect it to be sure. Is something the matter? Nope, everything's cool. Something's off about how Fuyumi's acting. She intends to bring the drive home, huh? First Division detectives don't have intentions, they have orders. At least, they do when they're on the job. But it's Fuyumi, would she really? Please excuse me. She slips past me down an alleyway, and it's too dark, too late to ask. I emerge myself onto a familiar street. Strikos is nowhere to be seen. He settled me with the work and left, I guess. So what now? In my hand is a tidy data chip. Fuyumi thinks it's empty, but if I turn it in, I'm 500 bucks richer anyway. The drop point's only half an hour's walk from me. Can't hurt to take a look. It's still late at night when I turn off Broadway. I made my way over to the warehouse district. Let's see, warehouse 15, huh? Still got no clue what I'm doing out here. Or how it could end up with me dead. 10 grand for this? Easiest money I ever made. I'm supposed to be finding out what's going on though. If I turn in the data and that's the end of it, I'm not sure Strikos will cough up my cash. I could probably talk him into giving me something though. Those thoughts take me right up to my target. There was no sign of any trouble along the way. Everything goes down about like they said it would. I turn in my data drive and get back a brown envelope with 500 bucks in cold hard cash. So that's the end of it, huh? Weird. Kinda also a letdown. The whole thing only took 2 hours or so. I don't even feel any impending doom. Back to the station for now then. Fuyumi should be there analysing away. It's not long after I make the swap that I notice though. As I'm near the edge of the warehouse district, there's a change. 2 presences following me. Looks as if they've saved the fun part for last. I stroll along like I haven't noticed, and I feel them getting closer fast. Unless things go way south, I'm sticking to my cover. Blasting these 2 into next week could draw attention, after all. It could be what they want. There's also a slim chance that this isn't tied to the job. I'm almost back in civilization when they say hello. Stop! What do you want? I turn around and glare at the 2 men. My face is half covered, half afraid. All a mask. We saw you pick up a nice paycheck just now. You better give that to us, no fuss. One of the 2 holds out a hand. Huh, it's really a coincidence. What are the chances? But no, it's still too early to say. Maybe it's another test. Wouldn't be the first time. They look tougher than the 4 punks from before. And also, if you won't cough it up, we'll kill you. His eyes flash red at the light of the sparks in his hands. He must be a whips. If I go up the 500 I just picked up, I think they'll let me go. Things are moving fast. I could wipe the floor with them, but I hesitate. Because these guys don't seem hot enough for the money. Okay, I'll give you the cash, just let me go. I put on my best scared person impression and pull out 500. No, 3. I could sure use it, but it's not the motherlode. If I can get some proof back to Strikos, that's where the real pay dirt is hiding. I pull out the bills, and the 2 exchange a glance. It contains something other than the thrill of the score. Something more like, damn, he gave us the money. Almost as if they didn't want me to. Difficult to believe, but I trust my eyes. Hey, you got more, don't you? What? Yeah, so that's, we'll seriously kill you, okay? Okay, give me a break. I pull out the other 200 and hand it over. 500 bucks on the dot. Precisely the value of 1 data drive delivery. Get lost. They grabbed the 500 and pushed me away. They didn't shake me down for another penny. I held back on them the first time, and they jumped on me. But they seem satisfied now that they've got it. Funny thing, I've still got my wallet, and everything else. I memorize their faces and leave the district behind. That's very strange. Back at the agency, I go straight for the smoking room. My favourite room of the building. One more time I run it all through my head. A shady, suspicious underground job. A brief task that pays 500 bucks cash. 6 days to live, according to the rumours. Mugged on the exit for the payment exactly. The thieves must have been connected to the job. Why though? It doesn't make sense. Pay 500, steal 500. Net gain, 0 bucks. Yeah, but they got the delivery done. And the men seemed annoyed when I gave them the money. Did they want me to fight back? Come to think of it, the interview tests our skills in a fight. Was it supposed to be some interview round 3? Maybe the right answer was to beat them up. Even if it was, I have no way of knowing. Guess I better go check in on my partner. The 1st Division, late at night. There must be no major cases. The place is deserted. Almost deserted, but not quite. Figured you'd be alone. What are you doing here? She looks at me downright suspiciously. Figured I'd come flap this in your face. I wave the empty brown envelope around at Fuyumi. I see, so you made the delivery. Are you satisfied with the payment you received? Sure I am. It was easy money. You don't deserve your badge. You never thought I did? Admittedly not. Anyway, the job is shady, but we don't know it's illegal. There's still a chance it's all above board. That possibility is vanishingly near 0. Prove him guilty, then we'll talk. I can prove that you're guilty. Part-time work is prohibited. Wonder what the judge would make of you. My case is different. I was on an investigation. Investigation, huh? Alone? Undercover? In the dead of night? Yeah, sure. I bet Curator approved of that. It'd be dangerous even if you weren't a woman. And without any backup? Like hell. What? You telling me it was all up to regulation? At least I have permission to pursue this case. Not to go in undercover though, right? What do you intend to do in that case? You may report it to Superintendent Curator if you wish. And that does sound like fun. Then be my guest. Still not as much fun as what you're getting up to. What do you mean? Yakuta's lapdog, breaking regulations? Music to my ears. you hunting your parents' killer here or what? Otherwise, I can't see it. What's going on? Nothing to do with you. But I've just got to know. Let me in on it, and I won't rate you out. If it were to be discovered that you knew and kept silent, you might be reprimanded as well if I'm caught. Oh yeah, I'd be overlooking an illegal investigation. I hate to break it to you, but that's kind of what I do. The brass jaws are tired from chewing me up out all the time. True. No indiscretion you could commit would surprise me. I'm discreet, I promise. Spill the beans. You know, I'm technically a detective. Maybe I can help. Technically. I won't get my hopes up for that, but very well. The reason I'm pursuing this case so hard is very nearly for the reasons that you described. Huh? The thing about avenging your parents? Yes, that. This shady job has been rumoured for some time. Many people have done it, and many have died. It seemed possible. A relative of mine was among them. I'm lost here. I do not trust you enough to tell you more detail. Hey, one thing then. It's possible this relative committed suicide. So you got desperate looking into that. Wouldn't Ikuta have lent you a hand if you told her? With an investigation based off no official reports? It's not connected to any murders? The police found the related deaths to be self-inflicted? Not enough of a case to be worth investigating, huh? That would be the conclusion. What do you know that they don't? Nothing, except that they recruit daily in back alleys. What connects the suicides to the job? Each of them has had one of these data drives at the time. So the ones who didn't deliver them wound up dead. Yes, that means you should be safe. Revenge for running off the company goods, you think? That's what I'm trying to ascertain. What's on the chip? Nothing, only some text data. It appears to be a string of unintelligible text. I can't make out anything of it at a glance. Wonder if it means anything or if it's just to mislead you. Analytics could crunch it, but we can't ask them now. There's one thing that I have learned. This storage device appears to have no tracking function. Good to know. If the ones giving the jobs are doing the killing, it'd be handy to have a way to track the targets. Yeah. So, you figure they're not connected after all? It's conceivable that I might be worried over nothing. Fuyumi disconnects the drive and slips it in her pocket. I'll see what happens over the next 6 days. Aren't you scared? Scared? I'm a detective. Do you think it's part of my job to be frightened? I think detectives can get spooked too. I am not spooked. Are we done? Please excuse me. Want me to walk you home? I do not. I would find myself in more danger that way, not less. Sugarcoat it? That stings. Well, no point following her when I'm not wanted. If she figures she's safe, that's her business. Is what I'd like to say, but my rusty old detective soul is creaking out a warning. She'll be fine. But I couldn't sleep at night if she weren't. My rusty old detective's feet carry me after her. And with that, we need to wrap this episode up. Because we're out of time for today. But that's interesting. Interesting. So why are the people turning up dead? Only if they don't deliver the drive though. I thought she said earlier that everyone who's taken the job has ended up dead. Or is it just the ones who haven't delivered their drives? Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you in the next one.